on here. One moment to start the video. I got the sound. Okay.
The June 20th, 2024 meeting of the Parks Board will now commence. Yes, Suzanne, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am.
Form.
Right. Chairperson Rectangular,
Here.
Vice Chair Kodiak,
Here.
Board Member Justin Camp is absent. Board Member Becky Denton, here. Board Member Elizabeth Maurer is absent. We have a new alternate board member, Mr. Russell Scott, who's here. Welcome. And alt board member Monica Rasco is absent. All right. You do have a quorum.
Good. Do we have any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I guess we need to, if everyone's had a chance to look over the minutes in the last meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we vote to approve the meeting minutes for May 23rd, 2024.
In a second?
I second it. Thank you. We will vote. Chairperson Rectangular,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kodiak,
Aye.
Board Member Becky Denton.
Aye.
And for today, we do have the ability to vote, so I'm gonna say Board Member Russell Scott.
You're saying I do approve?
You do.
I thought so. Aye.
All right, thank you. Motion passed.
Now, we will have a report from our board liaison, Bob Henry.
This was going to go before the board, we thought last time, but it did not because it was not properly presented on the agenda, so it didn't. However, each of you have a copy perhaps of this already. And I'll just start with this. This is the rain garden, and it's, this is basically what we're gonna be presenting next Wednesday as well to the board about what's been done and what still needs to be done.
What board are you presenting it to, Bob?
City council.
Okay.
So most of these things, and you'll know pretty much all these things already because you've been involved in these discussions. The things that haven't been done yet are the rainwater tank. Most of the rain garden over here hasn't been done. Just about the butterfly has not been done yet. And that's partly the Girl Scouts project, I believe. The rainwater collection is the Boy Scout, Eagle Scout project. So pretty much the only things that haven't been done yet are the spreading of the mulch, the rain garden, and the rainwater tank in the butterfly area. Is there anything that I'm missing here that hasn't been done yet?
The planting of the rain garden, which I think was
Oh,
implied in what.
And that's kind of in the fall, supposedly. They're not gonna do it in the heat of the summer.
Correct, and that is a master gardener project, so
Right.
each piece has a sponsor, if you will.
So pretty much the rest of it has been done. Is there anything left in the bocce ball court that hasn't been done yet?
No, the bocce ball court is finished.
Okay.
But Bob, will you explain to our members here why we have presented this information?
Well, part of it, if you look at this other page here that says invoices received for Prozac project, there are several things that were suggested but have to be brought before the board. And they're all the way at the bottom. If you look at, beyond the actual chart, you'll see 13, 14, 15, children's educational play area equipment. That includes the magnifier, the xylophone, the signage. That comes at $331. Pretty much everything else, the benches have not been paid for yet. Pretty much everything else has been paid for, as far as I know. That's 3 new benches for the Triangle and 2 benches for Creekside Park.
So that's roughly $7,500 in additional expenses that have been approved by council, that we add the 225, 236.44 for projected expenditures.
Right.
Where are those projected?
But I'm assuming it's handwritten items that add up to about $7,500. So that's what has not been spent. Everything that's typewritten in the table has been spent to reach a total of 225, 236.44.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Are these mentioned here, are these items approved yet, things handwritten?
Well,
No.
council would like to approve them rather than us just going ahead with
Okay,
it.
so we're waiting on
Let's
council.
elaborate just a little bit more on that, okay, Bob?
Okay, how would you like me to elaborate?
Why we're doing this.
It was brought to my attention,
And mine,
yes, in the last week or so, that we were supposed to not do this by ourselves, but rather with council approval. Therefore, we are going through this project, I'll call it a project, of doing this so that they can approve it formally. And, that way they'll know where all the money has been spent for the POSAC project. And it's pretty detailed already. I'm planning on taking this and also breaking it out by part as well, so that it's even clearer. Preferably, I have a digital copy of this somewhere so that we can do that. Otherwise, I'll start from scratch.
Can I ask for a couple more numbers?
Sure.
Our initial bucket of money to start these partially POSAC funded projects, what was that initial bucket of money?
$267,000.
Where are we at right now? What do we have in reserve?
What we have left is approximately $42,000. If you subtract 225, 236, 44 from 267, approximately $42,000. Yes.
42,000?
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's before these expenses that are now itemized at the bottom of the sheet.
So we've got, yeah.
What did I do wrong?
I think.
No, that's right.
Yeah, it's 34,000, or
41 and change.
32, 42.
They're talking about
Or
less.
to unspent.
Yeah,
Mhm.
43 less.
exactly.
So Bob, one question just to understand better. This concept, this plan has also not been approved?
I was not under the impression that we had to have it approved through city council as far as the design. Okay?
It was brought to my attention that our original POSAC, presentation did not include the trails, the children's play area. See, so in essence, we have expanded Augusta Park to add what we thought was really more additionally important to be included in Augusta. So the POSAC presentation was the ping pong table, the cornhole, and I think the bocce ball. That was all included in our POSAC the grant application.
The grant application also had a large wooden platform structure, so we're not going over, we're just changing focus.
Which we are allowed to do.
We're not going.
Through a mechanism, we are allowed to change the initial design that was made clear when we were chasing the POSAC funds.
Okay.
However, I will say I was taken aback when I saw all the work performed, and we did not go through the normal machinations of passing it through council. I did not know how that happened. And that's not a criticism at all. I just didn't know how that happened. Having worked with roads and parks for 3 years, I don't know how we did that.
It's probably my fault too, because I assumed that the city manager presented what we discussed in the meeting and what our plans were. I did not understand that there's actually there's a form to fill out when we do some of the things
Yeah.
that we're not.
There's a few things involved, but
Yes.
obviously you got funding, so more power to you. It's under budget.
Yeah,
Yeah, far under budget. So
Yeah.
all we have to do is at this point, bring this to the city council and say, here's what the rest of the plans are right now. And here's what the costs are.
How do you see this being received by city council?
I think that once they see, we're not talking about a lot of money. What we're talking about is some benches, two of those benches, three of those benches we would buy, two of those benches would be, by way of, donation. Hopefully those donations are still in
Yeah,
fact.
I think they are.
So, and then these office chairs, I think those have already, do we already have those?
They were in the front office, but I didn't know where those were, I didn't even know they were ordered for Hosek Park. So,
There's 4 boxes in there.
so there's some chairs, I guess there's 4, maybe the gazebo, the triangle. I don't
Okay.
know.
It says with question marks, say, we don't know.
Mhm.
So perhaps Mr. Rule ordered those and didn't let us know that he ordered those. Because he ordered just about everything else here on this list.
Mhm. At our request,
Mhm.
yeah.
One thing I don't see on here, we paid $5,000 to build a rock wall, and there has been some discussion about whether or not that's going to be backfilled to build a butterfly garden. In my opinion, it absolutely should be backfilled, and that we ought to have an expense line item on here for about 50 cubic yards of garden soil.
Well, that was what we just talked about, Mr. Flocky does not want to do that because of the, post oak tree.
The tree is damaging to
The
the tree,
roots,
with
the
that much dirt on top of
root
it.
line of the tree. And bartlett.
I guess I'm not gonna argue with a forester from Texas A&M, however, I respectfully dissent.
Okay,
Okay.
but we have moved the butterfly garden, out beyond the wall.
In order for it to get enough sunlight.
That was another issue, is the shade under the tree doesn't really lend itself to a lot of food growing
Okay.
atmosphere, so.
And there are weed poles all along that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there won't be water, okay.
So is there anything that I need to convey back to city council that we haven't spoken about today?
Do we have a contingency allowance in this,
Oh,
or is it just going back to council again?
no, now, we are open to any other suggestions, because we do still have some funds left. I feel we need to maybe think about the triangle and see if there might be a way we can add something there to draw more people up there. I think our other parks are not gonna have any problems with draw, but, that's just a thought for all of us.
There's still a water fountain to be.
Yes, but that shouldn't be.
Is that in here? Is the concrete plumbing for that in here?
No, because it was never given to anybody to do. Haven't said he was going to do that.
The, rain garden, nothing specific about the rain garden was in the POSAC grant, but the rain garden was in the drawing given to POSAC. So there weren't words that said such and such done to the rain garden, but rain gardens.
Bob, can you get a report from city staff on progress made today from the water fountain triangle?
Sure. And the fountain, the ramp as well hasn't been
Yeah.
completed yet.
We don't know where that stands. We don't know if the funds have been allocated for it, or
Correct.
any sort of agreement's been made, or whatever. If you can get us a report on that status, maybe we can move forward that. I think the fountain is happening. I mean,
Water
hasn't
fountain.
already been donated to us?
Oh, it's in
We
the,
had
it's
it
been here almost 2
It's in the
years.
shed?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's been here for 2 years, so it's about time for us to do something.
It's a little more complicated than a simple, install fountain, because we have looked at it, and apparently the assembly of directions are somewhere here. I'll get them.
We can get on to,
And the plumber should really have a minute to look at that before he gives us a bid on what it's gonna cost. Because there's the low station for pets and the upper station for, water bottles. So the, fountain's a little more complicated than a simple. And then, Dean Watson has dug a hole and provided with a frame for the concrete pad.
oh, has it?
Yes, that's been done, but because there was no connection to the water line,
Yeah, it needs to be rubbed in.
yes,
Stuff that other
and
concrete.
that's probably the plumber too.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. So it has been thought through, but just not proceeded.
I'd like to see those instructions right there. Thank you. Oh,
And the city council meeting date for this will be
26.
26.
Yes, ma'am.
And it seems like,
Like 26 next week.
yeah, next Wednesday.
I'm out of town again.
It's
I do.
Always out of town.
a lot of this was presented in detail before the city council, where Pat was here and you were here pretty sure then, and I think you were here, Becky. And they saw almost all of this already. Perhaps it was implied that it was approved rather than explicitly approved.
So it's not gonna be a surprise to them. It's just a formality, more or less.
Well, if they were to. I don't know.
Yes, I would say that's a yes.
The question will be the $7,500 in additional funding, right? Or that'll be the point of the day, probably.
Where is the 70?
The benches.
All of the handwritten items at the bottom.
The benches.
I haven't added it up exactly yet. It looks like 7,500.
But it's way less than this extra.
It's way less than the.
It is, which that leads me to another question. I think I've asked this question before and never really got a straight answer. Is there any kind of timeline on unspent funds and the ability for the county to claw back?
Good question, but I think the answer is that we've been very timely up till now. And that I don't think the county would want, knowing what we've done in good faith, they would say in good faith that we would continue until we're done with the whole project.
Okay.
So.
Because you can see by the dates, you know, the purchases and the things that,
We've been right on
yeah, we have tried.
We can do a lot of things with $34,000.
Yes.
it. So we can.
We can
start
bring
thinking
it,
about
we
that
can
once
bring
we get
Mhm.
this.
Okay. Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much. Do you want to, give us any feedback on the restroom, situation? Was that even discussed?
That will be an agenda item next week as well.
Okay,
And basically, we talked about two types of restrooms. One was the 9,500 with the coupon, which would make it 6,700
Mhm.
before plumbing.
uh-huh,
And no real discussion about exactly where that would be placed if it were there. But everybody seems to think that it would need to be in the far back corner if it were anywhere, and that wouldn't work because of trees.
and the playground is in place, see, so all of that would have to be, undone.
Yeah,
Unless you
One end of
go,
it would have to be,
unless you go down the fence line and then across the back.
I'm not sure that you can get code clearance between the drain line, the pump discharge and the water line with the, merry-go-round, or whatever people call it. We call it a spinner.
Yeah,
That's what it's called in Catalog. But I don't, maybe you can. Man, there's a lot of drawbacks.
that's why we feel inadequate to proceed with this.
right. With the other option being that we would continue with the porta potty and shield it with some either cypress trees or whatever we would use as a shield,
Attractive.
visual shield, yes.
Yeah.
And maybe canting it 90 degrees from where it is so that it would be,
Mhm.
Or even fitting it inside the fence itself and doing that. You know, we have a removable panel and the truck has a 50-foot hose on it.
Oh, cool. Are all the panels removable?
No, there's one in the front where we can drive a piece of equipment in. if we want to.
Okay.
but we wouldn't even, they only have to do that to
To pump it.
install it. After that, you don't even need to pump it because
No.
it's 50-foot hose.
For those of you that don't know, one day, sometime, in the life cycle of that thing, that creek's gonna flood, and it's gonna mess up all our engineered wood fiber,
Sure.
and then we'll have to pay about $5,000 for them to come in and replace all of it. It's brand new. It's just gonna happen. We
Yeah.
built it in a floodplain, knowing what was gonna happen, and that's just,
Mhm.
there should be funds for that set aside.
But that's not a lot.
It's about $5,000.
That would be a new agenda item or a new budget item, not necessarily part of POSAC funds,
It'd be.
as far as putting that aside.
I think it's already in there, Bob. I believe the previous city manager actually showed me that. I don't remember exactly where it is, but I think it's in there. Because I believe if we build a park with POSAC funds, the city has to have an allowance for a maintenance.
Yeah, he was already a part.
And the replacement of the engineered wood fiber is a known maintenance item. I'm almost positive that the city manager allocated funds for that in a budget line item in a previous budget.
So, no trees will have to be removed if we move it inside the fence. I like the idea of it being inside the fence.
To that point, I don't know that we have to remove a tree, but I do know that on one side, there's a tree that we could stand to lose because it's not a desirable tree.
Okay.
And there's complete canopy shade coverage above it. So we wouldn't lose any canopy and the tree would be no great loss, believe me, because it's looking for a storm to snap off in. So,
Great.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So I don't see, oh, do I need to say something else? Is that all, Bob?
I believe that's all. That's what I'm gonna present next week, plus these
Okay.
other things that you told me about today.
Okay.
do we have we're still talking about parks here. Do we have a code reviewer that works for the city? Permits and codes? I need him, Bob, to study the drain requirements for this and find out if we can use a dry well or what else do you call it? It's not really a French drain. It's basically a dry well. It's like a French drain, it doesn't really drain anywhere. It's like a 3 foot by 2 foot hole that's full of limestone covered with geotextile fabric, and then you put your drain discharges into that. Or if code's gonna require us to have a sewer connection. So if you have a sewer connection, we're gonna have a tap from Aqua Texas. And if it doesn't slope correctly, which might not be a problem on that street.
So you're saying
But anyway,
because of
that's-
the water
Yeah,
option, it might
the water has to go somewhere.
go somewhere if it's like
Mhm.
overflowing.
Now, if we can use a dry well, that would be the practical thing to do, but we are in a city.
Seems to me from my limited experience that with that dry well idea with rock in it, where water can go down, not that much water will go in there to begin with. You're drinking it. You're not just turning it on and leaving it on.
Yeah,
You're drinking it. So no more than, I would guess, no more than a gallon a day would even go into that pit.
So that could just be a rock.
can y'all tell me which code the city uses for plumbing code, and I'll tell you, I have the code books in my office.
We're using the 2015. You want me to get the book?
IMC or UMC?
Uh,
IPC or you,
I can grab it. It's literally in my vocation. I'll go get it. Thank
Okay.
you, Suzanne.
I guess if it's just a reference, I can just look the code up tomorrow and find out if it's possible.
What's possible?
The drainage system on this. I don't want to take the whole meeting up with this, it's just.
No, that's okay.
I never thought about the drain on it, so now
Usually the
the
water.
sewer tap will cost more than the entire water.
Well, yeah.
Also, maybe. we don't
IPC,
need-
that's all I need,
Okay.
IPC.
Well, it would be a lovely feature to have it, for everybody that has it.
No, I just mean we're gonna need to do the more complicated things.
Yes.
Yeah, I know we can.
Really, it's gonna be the city that tells us what has to be done, but I guess the city can tell themselves what they're gonna have to do. No? Sorry, Suzanne.
Okay. And you
So
did
you,
look this
so you know,
up?
we're going to email to the code.
Administrator.
You want me to?
I mean, do you still want to email send
This information.
with that request about,
What do you need, me sending an email or,
No,
oh, Bob?
Bob can relay to the council that we have asked for,
Our code ruling from city staff.
dry well or sewer connection?
Yeah,
for the fountain.
can we ask Suzanne to do things?
Yeah, yes.
You can ask them. It doesn't really need, something like that shouldn't have to pass the council, I wouldn't think. I mean, it's gonna be what it is.
What's
Not-
Well,
Yeah, it's not a decision to be made.
it will affect the cost of the install, right?
TBD.
Yes, so that's what we need, that's why we have to have a plumber look at that and then go up there.
Code officials first step,
Okay.
and then it's not gonna be, it probably is not going to be, what's the threshold for RFP? Is it 30,000 in the city or is it 3,000?
Threshold for an
Like,
RFP?
when does it have to go out to bid? Does anybody know?
I thought it was 3.
Oh, how many contractors?
No, how many, what's the dollar value?
where you have to go out to bid.
Contract value.
Oh, I don't.
What can you
Yeah,
do?
it's gonna be in city ordinance, I can't remember.
It started at 5, but then I'm doing COSAC, I think they moved it down to 3, but maybe that's.
I don't know, let's get a code ruling first, I guess, I would like to move on and do something with it, and we probably need to steer back towards the agenda for this meeting. For impacts that come to get us.
Okay, so we'll move on now to discuss the Augusta Park activities,
The workshop?
workshop, which means General discussion, right?
Opening workshop at 5:54.
Do we have any,
Becky is here and, okay. A, Parks and Open Space and POSAC grant items.
And we just discussed that we diverted a huge amount of money for that big platform to some of these other things.
That's
And we're
right.
just waiting for council to approve it and be sure of it, that they like it. And, most of the things still to happen at Augusta are so nice because they're partner with an entity that we all know and respect. So the Boy Scout project, the Boy Scout is at Scout Camp. He's gonna get started when he gets back. Justin is actually in charge of that,
Yes,
but Justin has been muddying with him, and I know when he hears from them.
yes.
And Russell, this is gonna be an Eagle Scout project that is a, structure with a metal roof with, gutters all the way around and a rainwater tank. The gutters inside that will be attached to it so that we can use it to water the gardens. And it will have a little cooling area for wildlife. So it'll be a wildlife health and a garden health both.
And it'll be fenced, right?
It will be, siding.
Sided, that's what I meant, I'm sorry.
so that'll be to support the butterfly.
And well, there's gonna be more than just the butterfly garden, but yes, to support the planted gardens. And to
Because the
provide,
rainwater, the rain garden is not a, I mean, I don't know much y'all discussed about it or know about it, it's not a 12 month sustainable thing. It does
correct,
require supplemental water from time to time.
yes,
It's a great way to save water, you know,
yeah.
zero escaping, but, yeah, so that's great. What's the, do you know how much, what the gallon is?
I do not know that. Justin is the one who.
Okay, just curious.
So were you involved in gardening, water collection?
I just personally,
At a
I'm
grow-
building my own rain garden at the time, so
Oh,
I've done
okay.
about 6 months of the research on it.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Talked to hundreds of people about it, but,
Okay,
yeah,
good. Well, then
Yeah.
you should be, definitely should be,
yeah, I'm
one
excited
of the
about
people involved.
it. Sure.
The, Girl Scout project, actually, we reached out to the Boy Scouts because we said we wanted a rainwater collection. And, the Girl Scout came to us looking for a project. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a Girl Scout Gold project.
Yep, looks like an Eagle Scout.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Anyway, we suggested, we came up with the idea that she put in a Monarch Way Station as part of the, we're on the edge of the rain garden,
Yeah.
so it's part of the garden. Because
It's
that,
it's itemized as the butterfly.
yeah,
On that plan, yeah.
Sure.
we want one of the things about Augusta Park is we want it to be an educational space about, environmental quality and habitat.
Yeah, I think a long time ago, it was kind of designated as that, right, like 15, 20 years ago. Because I remember there used to be signs on all the different trees and all the different shrubs and all the different
Yeah, that-
Has he
flowers.
lived here that long?
Been coming here since before, I used to ride horses where Wood Creek
Oh,
was.
okay, yeah.
I've been coming here a long time, but
Okay.
I've only lived in Wood Creek about 4 years, but,
Okay.
yeah, I've been coming here a long time, but, I had friends that lived over there, and when we first moved in, it was still, I'm on Augusta Lane,
Okay.
so,
You're
yeah,
on Augusta Lane. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
so-
okay.
yeah. So, I mean, when I first moved in, I noticed it was like, what, you know, it was
Yeah.
broken and laying down and, don't want to get off topic, but anyway, I noticed, like, oh, this was good, they should redo this, you know?
Well, that's
So-
what you're gonna hear.
Yeah, so that's
Right.
what I'm excited about, yeah. It's
And
great.
there was a original grant from, LCRA PEC that started the rain garden and put in the bocce ball court, put in the picnic
Right.
tables. So that's how that got started.
Good.
But it was a very small grant.
So when does this work start? Is it
Well,
scheduled?
the Boy Scouts should start soon, or both of those should start soon. The rain garden portion has been, it's approved as a master garden project.
Mhm.
And we have a younger lady, much younger than I am, that is her master garden project. Her name is Claire Palmer.
Yeah,
She, you know, the Palmers,
if it's who I think it is.
they're redoing the house on the corner. Yeah. And they are planning to start soon. What they're planning to do, we've marked any valuable plants that are there, that are existing now.
Okay.
And they're gonna take the other areas and they plan to solarize it instead of trying to pull all the weeds out. They'll put a layer of something down.
Yes.
And maybe the mulch to hold it, because we have enough mulch. And, then because planting obviously needs to wait for the fall.
Yeah, okay. Are we gonna use any other medium besides mulch?
Well, the mulch will be, yes, I'm sure, it's all gonna be planted. The
Or
idea.
are we using anything besides mulch? Like
I
rock, like
I don't
other
know.
types of media?
don't know
That
what
helps. Oh, I mean,
You mean for the-
she's a master gardener. I just-
Walkways, are you talking about the?
No, I'm talking about the rain garden. I mean, traditionally, you almost, you don't want a rain garden to be flat, right?
Right.
You almost want it to be, like a bucket or a
Right,
salad
that-
bowl or something. And-
Yes, right.
And traditionally, that salad bowl or that river, what I call the river part in the middle, if it's an oval, just draw a squiggly line in the middle and that's the river part.
Mhm.
That's usually 3 to 6 inches lower and control and helps with flooding, and that's usually rock. My whole thing is in 1 to 2 inch river rock, all of it. Because I was gonna be mulch, and I realized this isn't gonna work, that mulch is gonna last one big rain,
Right,
it's just gonna blow away.
yeah,
So if you have, if it's designed right, and you have some of the type of media, rock, limestone, granite, whatever you wanna use, to hold that mulch where you want it to stay, where it can get flooded, but it's not gonna wash away.
right.
Or just, leave half of the mulch on one side and third on the other after a big rain.
Correct.
But I'm sure that, she's a master gardener, she knows this, but I haven't heard any
One
mention.
of the parts that was left out is that she is working hand in hand with a landscape architect that was,
So
Well,
it's Bob,
hopefully
so
they'll.
this is the drawing of the landscape architect.
both
And-
both of them should have volunteered to be on this board, by the way.
Yeah, right.
And, the rocks placed in there now that you've seen, that's from
Yeah.
the landscape architect's design.
yeah.
Would you make Chair Russell?
I would love to have a
copy of
copy of that, yeah.
And
But this is the small version.
actually,
Yes.
make a
This
copy
is,
of this.
you can do this one, it's better.
Yeah,
Can you do that? That's better.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the
And
big.
actually, Russell, that's a reduced version with my pencil in of the trails and stuff.
Right.
But it's not exactly perfect, but it's close enough to what we're.
So how are we, or how is she, or they communicating with us? Lauren?
I'm mainly through me.
Yes.
I'm a
Becky's in-
natural.
I passed all this to Becky.
Okay.
Because
We-
it just.
Okay,
Really, some time ago, Pat assigned each of us to sort of look after a specific part.
and do they have,
But we help each other.
do they
Yes.
have a date in mind for completion?
All the planting this fall.
No, I mean, just for the rain garden,
Yeah,
not the planting, but just the actual rain garden.
this fall. Well, I think that, I don't know.
I think it'd just be cool for everybody to see what their plan is before they,
I like it.
oh, I didn't know, when I said build a house, I didn't know that you were gonna build a round house, I meant a rectangle house, just so we can just kind of pass through and go, yeah, that looks great, or, whoa, that's not what we're thinking
Well,
about.
I will pass that on to her.
Just a drawing, a simple drawing of what they're gonna do
I'm
would
gonna-
be great.
Yeah, I'll be glad to pass that on to her. I also would like that. I would like to try to stay involved the whole way through and have input about the plants and all
So
that.
there's no surprises.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. But those are the three big, those are our three partners, the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and Master Gardeners. Then we have, and there is a little trail back there with, labeled plants. I don't know if you've seen it, some of the original labels that you mentioned. And it's deteriorated over the years.
Yes.
We also are planning to put in a loose parts play area.
What now?
Loose parts, have you seen or heard of those?
No, I haven't.
Well, when you were a little kid, when you were outside playing, did you just play with old pieces of wood and?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's kind of what this is, but they're popular now in parks. You see them in a lot of places.
Okay.
And some of the items on this list are for the loose parts area. Now, Cody and Bob, y'all were gonna work on,
I'm still gonna get him those 2x4s.
you're gonna work on the 2x4s and you're
He's
gonna
gonna cut them and
get to
try.
Cody.
Yeah, I'll need the plan. I forgot all the dimensions, so I just need that plan with the dimensions shown on it, and Bob will give me some lumber. And I'll fix them up.
Okay,
Is that a
and
copy you have?
yes,
Suzanne, would you make a copy of that, please?
Actually,
Some points?
that's about 5.
and well, and here's some of the, I'll just show you what we're gonna put in there. And Cody, you were gonna see about bamboo. The cost of the bamboo, Cody doesn't.
You're gonna
find
plant
that
bamboo?
It's
No.
$80.
No, we're gonna chop it down and use
His
it.
neighbor has a
You're gonna plant bamboo.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna put bamboo sticks for plant. And
Oh,
this is one of the items. we
Gotcha.
There's
first
a
showed.
stand of bamboo across the creek behind my house.
gotcha.
And this is another item. And it's just a small area, back there along the park. Okay,
I think it's marked on the new map.
it is, it's on one of these diagrams does show it. I'm not sure. which
Actually,
one, but
Becky probably needs.
Thank you so much.
Would you get that back from Bob again, and give Becky and Cody a copy?
So this.
I have a big one, I just
Well,
put this
okay.
one in my folder. You want
Okay,
me
you
to-
got, no, I
You want me to-
want you to have that too.
Okay,
And that way, we're all kind of,
talking about the same thing at
Yes.
this moment. Okay.
thank you, sorry, Susan.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Suzanne, you're very, very
Very,
good at this.
very understanding.
Hey, Bob, if you do find someone that's gonna donate this lumber, you tell them it won't do us any good if it's completely warped.
Right, slightly warped is okay, but completely warped.
So we need, it'll be a whole lot cooler if it was straight.
So 60 feet
Yeah, so
altogether.
That's, yeah, that's
So 2x4 by 10 or 8.
I can do either one, doesn't matter.
There's 2x4 by 12
Let me
ones.
show you some of the things that I have.
Hey, Bob, don't get 60 feet because there's gonna be drops. There'll be drops associated with that. Get 70 feet.
And you can't get PTL.
And it
right?
has to be treated.
Yeah, it can be.
For kids?
We're gonna put signage, we have part of our plans.
It does say that they're using kid-friendly preservative. But I mean, if it's left out in the sun to dry for 3 weeks, I would think that it would be
It's not
okay.
gonna hurt any kid.
I don't know, they can use, what's the alternative, pine? It's not gonna last very-
Just construction, oh, yeah, it's not, but it's, what does it say? Oh, I see what you're talking. Treated blocks are treated with kid-friendly preservatives.
Well,
That's
that's
the case with all wood trees and homes. Please be careful to check it periodically with splinters and wood.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
This is what city,
wouldn't put BTL out there.
this is why I did this, so they know exactly what each one of these items is.
Okay.
Bob, you know what might be a better alternative would be cedar. I didn't wanna do all the work that I'd have to do with cedar, but cedar might be better.
You're gonna like really heavy sand, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's the only drawback
So-
of that.
The park at Blue Hole has treated, I call it, well, blocks. Have y'all ever been to that playground? They have.
My wife went this week and I heard all about it. I haven't seen it
Oh,
yet.
is this new?
No, it's been there.
New-ish.
Well, it's last year, I think.
Yes,
I haven't been there in a couple of
And
years.
I tried to contact that company 3 times and never gotten a peep out of them, but you can see it's smooth wood blocks. Jordan was there and he was just like, oh, I'm building all of them. And I wish we could find that.
That's not what this is.
No, it's dark wood.
Okay. Well, I just have a few more.
That's okay, baby, no, that's all right.
We have, 3 hour and a half-ish volunteer days from Camp Young Judea. This Tuesday was the first one and they added mulch to the little nature trail.
They
They
did?
didn't quite finish for both of the young people.
Okay.
So they'll come 2 more times. We still are going to have too much mulch.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
There are people still taking it occasionally, but we're gonna have to deal with that at some point. We need to see how much, Claire and her group want to use. And there's a dead tree in the park. It's on the city's property, obviously. It's even in the city right away. It's over on Augusta Lane.
Okay.
I don't know how that's handled.
Now, Becky, we still put the mulch in front of the between the bocce ball court and the tree. That area, if we just wanted to use it up
Between the bocce ball
court
court
and the black, or those stone.
Oh, yeah.
Stone pieces of.
well, we can, but as
Yeah.
Russell mentioned, that mulch is not. It's
No.
go away.
Yes, it will, but it would move some of it quite a bit.
Yeah. And I wonder, does anybody else have anything about Augusta? I appreciated that Russell said he really wants to know about the rain garden,
Mhm.
and, I do too, so.
Yes.
If I could ask, the dead tree you talked about, is it near the end of the bocce ball court?
It is.
Or is it up at the
On number 13?
Okay, so here's the parking lot. Okay, you're walking down this direction,
Down the street.
down the street from the parking lot, and it's a little bit over here.
It's right up in this, on the park corner.
Yeah, where the path that runs between Augusta Park and Augusta Lane, it's very near that, on the Augusta
I want to
Lane
make
side.
sure it's the right tree before
Yeah,
it gets cut down.
it would be very dead, it looks very dead to me.
Okay, because if they're gonna have how. There'll be some more done, the planting, trees, with all these dead limbs, maybe we should add it to there,
Good idea.
add it to their work schedule.
And other than,
Are you talking about the main tree on Wood Creek Road?
just narrower.
Maybe we could put a ribbon or something up, something around.
Can I go there and cut some of the oak up, take it home?
Sure. Was there some good stuff up
Oh, yeah, it's right, several of those trees over there.
there? Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's oak, it's not turning into mulch, it's turning into firewood.
Yeah, and well, this one looks like, oh.
So that's in Augusta Park, correct?
No, it's at the main tree.
No.
It's
no,
that city-owned property.
Another one, okay, that's a different
That's-
dead tree.
Remember, we asked Hal to clean up the front entry bells. And, if they would, I think that we need to ask, the council to add the dead tree at Augusta Park to the list that we want Hal to, deal with, remove.
And the only other thing I have on Augusta is that when this is approved, these educational things to go in the, what we call the loose parts play area. And when you gentlemen get the block in the bamboo,
And the
We will-
benches.
we will need some volunteer dads who are the fathers of these young children who are to play there to install the xylophone and magnifying glass and that kind of thing.
Or ladies that have toolboxes.
I think we should get the rough work done first and then
Yes.
start installing the things that we buy.
Anybody have a question about the park, anything you've noticed or you wonder?
Thank you, Ben. I think that's, you have any more questions?
I was just wondering if you guys would consider doing like a maybe grand reopening or some kind of celebration once this is all wrapped to reintroduce it to, I mean, because it's a lot of work and a lot of money's been into that. And quite frankly, if I didn't live on Augusta, I don't know that I would know,
A lot of people don't know about that.
you know what I'm saying? I say we, you all have invested a lot of effort and a lot of brain power and brain trust and a lot of your personal time for meetings and stuff to make this happen and a lot of the city's money. I just think it'd be neat to, I mean, kind of the Arbor Day thing was to me like kind of a celebration of the triangle. It's like focus on that for that day and got people out there. I just think it'd be neat and I don't know, September, October when it's not,
Yeah,
too hot.
so this fall.
Yeah, and we've got those plants in and everything's sparkling new and pretty and perfect to have a little kids' day or family park day, dedication day, and
Mhm.
maybe give away some silly prizes that would attract the kids and the families and stuff, just interesting to it,
Isn't Labor Day at the end of summer?
20.
Labor Day's on, yeah, but it's so hard.
First Monday in September.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we need to wait.
like October, yeah,
It's
not too
October
late,
2nd.
but maybe the couple of those food tacos must take up a lot of people's time, not only rentals, but just seed for thought, it's something that.
No, I
develop,
mean, I agree,
It'd be neat just to have something,
a special day.
yeah, just a dedication ceremony or
For
something.
Augusta,
Or rededication or whatever.
Why don't we, that going to be on the next agenda, have a discussion item, you add it to the next agenda. It'll go,
Funding
it'll
for
go,
Augusta Park specific.
yeah, that we probably need a subcommittee, which, that's why your two friends ought to get one of this board. And
We need
it
bigger.
requires some discussion in detail.
thought.
Okay.
That's all I have.
hey,
I do have one more thought.
that's okay, Vicky.
When the things that go before the council, Bob, the stuff that I had proposed, number 13, I did it very, very specifically. But what if it turns out to be $500 instead of $331? I mean, how much do we worry about that kind of thing?
It might not be a bad idea to say not to exceed a certain amount. $400 may be a reasonable amount,
Okay.
or not to exceed. If you want to say $500, we can say not to exceed
Let's be
$500.
quiet, but we have the funds still.
I would say even $700 if we have 30-something thousand
Left.
hanging there.
That's
And
more.
we do want nice signs, we do want it to be educational.
Yes, I want with the signs probably.
You
Be of good
Taking
quality.
into account process relation to.
Mhm.
Yeah, between
The
now,
longer you wait, the more it might cost.
yeah.
So, do we need to make a motion for that?
Under number 4, when she closed the workshop.
Okay. Okay. Are we ready to move on to number 4 now?
Closed workshop
Sure.
at 6:16.
Thank you. Okay,
We have items that would be in motion to move forward, that we just discussed in the workshop, other than,
so we want to ask the city council for a increased budget for the possible additional items for the children's play area, not to exceed.
Well, why don't we word it?
a second, it's still blanket comment, we use my calculator.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, I mean,
I think we should say, word it that POSAC funds be used for the children's educational play area and educational signage throughout Augusta Park, not to exceed $1,000. Can I make that a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
With all the money that we have left? I don't see
we
any
could
reason.
group all 3 items and say all 3 items not to exceed 8,000. That would give us a $500 contingency on the educational signage, and that would give us about 200 on both other items. I think that would probably be safe.
I think so.
And just as for structuring, you're not asking for additional budgeting, right? So you're asking for approval to spend pre-approved
The
budgeting,
POSAC funds,
Grant money,
pre-approved grant money.
yes.
So we're not asking for additional budget.
no,
Okay.
Did you want to reword that?
all of the
motion?
grant. So do you want to, go ahead.
No,
I don't want
Becky did very well, say it
to,
again.
go ahead.
What did you say?
But instead of saying not to exceed 500,
Let's
let's
say
say all 3 items not to exceed 8,000. I probably should have voted to amend the motion too. Yep, wait, but nobody seconded it yet.
No,
Let's
we
start
So
over.
I'm sorry, now I'm now confused.
Okay.
So I would like to make a motion that we bring to the council our desire to use POSAC money not to exceed
$8,000.
$8,000 to complete the Augusta,
Oh, this is,
to complete the,
Remaining items.
Design, discuss.
yeah, it's the a landscape architect design for Augusta Park.
I'll second that motion.
Did you read that back?
Oh, I'm still writing.
She's still writing.
The motion was that we bring to council the desire to use POSAC funds not to exceed $8,000 to complete the landscape architect design for Augusta Park.
That was seconded. Yeah, moved and seconded.
That's right, I do watch the videos to make sure I get it.
Yeah, because that will includes.
I think you got it, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, she's really
Can
good at that.
we vote on that motion?
Vice Chair Cody Irving,
Yeah, aye.
Board Member Becky Denton,
Yes.
Board Member Russell Scott.
Aye.
And Chairperson Ruth Ann Gilbert.
Yes.
Thank you, motion passed.
Will you be able to put this by way of your special form here, make it a motion for this next meeting coming up rather than having to wait until, actually, it's already part of our agenda. The part that's not is a motion to approve this
For that
money.
amount of money.
How do we get it in the next council meeting?
It won't make the next council meeting.
Yeah.
They've already reviewed the agenda
Oh, okay.
for the.
But it'll be early in July.
Yeah, it would be
July 10th.
July 10th.
Well, that's right around the corner. It's,
And did the motion make it clear that it's POSAC money, we're not asking
Yes,
for?
yes, yes.
Okay. Good thought.
Okay. So you want that motion in the form of the recommendation to council?
Yes, please.
we're moving on to agenda item 5.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And I must apologize to the board, I forgot my folder on spectacular, but I think one thing we can do today is discuss the date of the event. So if everyone will get their calendars out. On phone.
So is this the workshop for the deck room center?
Yes, this is our workshop, the date of the event.
Oh,
So,
Halloween's on Thursday,
yes,
so we're doing this on the 26th. What do y'all think?
I think that Saturday would be perfect. I think Saturday is better than Sunday,
It is.
personally. How do y'all feel?
That's why I'm doing it after Halloween. And we can do it on 19th. We can, I'm joking.
Stretch out Halloween for another 10 days for all these
Oh, it
children.
lasts for 10 days around my house.
Okay,
Oh, gosh.
so let's go with October, okay, yes,
Since you got it on here, okay.
the 26th.
What does everyone think? I mean, I just think it would have to be the 19th or the 26th. Is there any discussion about that while we're in workshop?
Well, since
I agree.
I agree, it's plenty of days before Halloween, so it's not like the night before, like some of ours
Yeah.
have been.
The weekend before, I think it's best, 26th. Yeah. I would think that'd be best.
All right.
Okay,
So move on to location of the event. So previously we've had it at Double J in the big field in front of basically where the clubhouse used to be. They closed off
the
the
fencing.
street side of it with boulders, but it's still open on these, I don't remember the name of the
On
street.
the, Pro Lane or.
Pro Lane.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can still get in through there with trailers, et cetera.
And we decided that the golf carts actually could park between the rocks and the road. There's enough room for them there.
So I could,
But we need to go to the owners of the golf course and discuss it. with
is
them.
that to the owners, Mr. Gambino, or is that to his representatives?
I would think it would be the representative, and then that might be passed on to him, but
Do we have any relationship with whoever's running the golf course now?
I do not, Mr. Burton, the code administrator might.
is he a golfer?
No, I believe it's through the code administration duties.
Okay. I was thinking that, possibly Jeff and myself, or myself and Cody need to go over there and talk to them. Cause it is a parks, but maybe Jeff and one of us, the mayor, and,
There's no harm in y'all going over there and.
yeah, starting the conversation. I just,
Maybe Jeff should preface that conversation with Mayor.
Jeff does have good communication, I think, but can be,
I don't know.
well, I think he does from, instead I had about him cutting down.
You wouldn't create any kind of form or anything if you just asked Jeff to do it.
It's true.
okay, so I could just place a phone call. Okay, I'll do that.
At least preface the conversation.
Yeah.
So we don't show up out of the blue.
Right.
Nobody likes to announce people to show up asking for things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
What? I'm not being sarcastic.
We asked you for things. Okay, so October twenty-sixth, I think I.
No, I'm not. They're
Okay,
No, he volunteers.
so
not mistaken if you think I'm capable
say no to
of
this.
being not devious.
No.
Okay, now, activities for the event, just for Russell's benefit, we started the event with a, parade with trailers and golf carts appropriately decorated with, wonderful Halloween themes. And those are judged, we have a group of judges that usually sit at the triangle, and
What's the route?
we just go straight down Wood Creek
We
Drive.
started Deerfield right
Yes,
here.
right at the turn,
Everybody lines up there,
I've
yes,
seen that.
closed traffic, et cetera. There's a big parade or whatever down there, all the way to the spot in front of Double J.
yes.
Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
what we've done. Now, last year we did cancel it because of the rain.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
There's a couple of things with that. I've already paid the deposit for all the inflatables.
is
And
that from last?
yes, that deposit is.
Oh, stay.
And,
Yeah, the deposit is non-refundable, but the owner of Buda Bounce Houses said he would carry it through to this year.
oh, God.
So that's the deposit. And also I was cleaning out the console of my truck last week. And I found a check for the city that should pay for all the inflatables in my console. So I guess I was given the check to pay them and we canceled at such short notice, but I left this check in my truck and I forgot it was in there.
I bet it's been.
So it's on my desk at work.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll still be valid then. I can tear it up.
You might want to call Miss Parker tomorrow morning and see if it's still be good.
It does, I can tear it up and y'all can reissue another.
I think
It may
that's
still be
better.
valid, you never know.
It may still be, that's why I didn't tear it up immediately when I found it.
And how many bounce houses did we go with for?
Two huge ones,
Two huge ones. Okay.
the biggest ones they have.
So we divided between the, like, these younger children trying to, the guys are in charge of this, and then the older children that come and dress up. And then, of course, at some point, it's sort of a free for all.
It's turned into the Lord of the Flies.
Yes. Then, so,
With my kids leading charge.
good. So then we have a award such time. We have games. Several tables of games. We have a photo area where families can get their pictures taken. I will try now to start contacting either the, snow cone folks again,
Yes,
because I think that would be a beneficial,
that's a huge hit.
yeah, okay,
We found out with, Double J wants to have any vending there also, so
Yeah.
step on their toes.
yeah. Well, they were going to have a bar, I think, and food, right?
Third thing, Tyler?
It's the golf course, they don't start.
Well, but they don't have a kitchen in,
No, they
Have a
don't.
food trailer,
yeah.
$14.
Well, but see.
Oh, they do, they love food.
So, okay, so we
They
could,
still pump out hot dogs and, you know,
well,
like
good,
normal, but
we,
a hamburger, hot dogs are like $2.
that's, we like cheap,
The
yes.
hamburgers are 14.
So we could ask them if they would, if they want to include their food trailer.
So hot dogs and beer.
Yeah, and that's where they serve their alcohol as well. Wine and beer and sodas.
For us parents, adults, okay, all right, so
When
that,
there
that would
were
be
some
fine.
Halloween, they couldn't keep up with the demand. I don't remember if that was last year or the year before.
Wow.
Yeah, they couldn't.
Oh, these are all like pre-wrapped.
Yeah.
I mean, they sling, I was sitting there eating a hamburger and watched them hand out 12. and
Oh,
2 or
good,
3
just kind
minutes.
of go through the steamer and,
Yeah, they're steamed,
Don't-
wrapped in a, you know, what do you call it, drawer, heat drawer?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, in a forming oven.
Warming drawer.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
so, all right, we're making some progress, and do we have any other suggestions?
Is there
for-
any candy or anything, you know?
Do we have candy? We will buy some more because did we just give it all away last year?
I don't remember what we did with it.
What we did.
We sort of put it in a candy bowl and it's gone now. All the residents.
Yeah.
So the
Oh,
candy,
just put it outside.
Oh, it was the people that came in through the front door.
yeah, so the committee, we buy all of it, we bag it all, we buy every prize that's conceivable for the children to enjoy that will be thrown away probably in about 2 weeks afterwards. What is that? TEMU, whatever the Chinese,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we just buy bags of that stuff and, so we have.
We have a lot of that. We should have a bunch from that. We had to cancel last year
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
because of rain, so we should have.
I know we're buying a whole bunch for July 4th and for, the 40th anniversary celebration.
Yes.
So if we've got that stuff left over, I'm buying 2 more large folders. We need to collaborate, and see what they have left.
Who was that to find the candy for the,
City.
Let's see, tree ward, I'm sorry, I'm starting on all these things, I've got to remember everybody's names and everything, so. Was it the tree ward that's doing? No, it's just the committee for the July 4th activities, it's not a board or anything, it's just a,
Sorry, City Council Committee?
it's just an ad hoc committee, yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
What's
it's,
Maybe we
yeah.
should look at it.
It's for the July 4th, event, the fireworks.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
all the
God.
planning committee for that and for the, what the
Our
heck?
40th birthday.
Yeah.
Sorry, so you're on those committees.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would like to do spectacular?
Would like to do what?
No.
No, no, as a matter of fact, I was gonna say, but I guarantee they don't want to do spectacular. I don't know why, but they said they don't, so. They said that you guys.
That's our
You guys got
baby.
it down. Yeah, yeah.
All right, we need to.
I'll mess with you.
one more thing for workshop discussion.
Okay.
We need to start soliciting volunteers to help us with it because we're gonna need 20 people.
Oh, yes, and I apologize not being prepared on that today, but, we'll start that. Yeah,
And
Pat may not be here.
I
Bob will be here.
will be doing, I can do the traffic as far as stopping traffic on Wood Creek Drive. We were gonna talk about getting a deputy last year. I think we had one scheduled and then of course we canceled.
We do need a deputy.
But just at the head of Wood Creek Drive to begin with,
Yes,
and then,
believe it or not, I have this whole binder of everything that we have done.
Oh, yeah, she
And
does.
there's a huge list, and it's all decorated with spooky things on the front, so I'll bring that next time. Okay, so, I think we're concluding now.
We decided on that day.
I-
We talked about it.
Right out of the,
Yes,
when we come out of workshop, that can be, I think that's the only actionable item we have in the
Yeah.
workshop.
yes.
Suzanne, I don't know if you captured the 6:21 start time on that.
I did,
Okay.
and the 6:32 goes back.
So now we're on agenda item 6.
6. I move that we choose October 26th, 2024 for this year's spectacular event, Saturday, before Halloween.
I'll second that. Sure you can.
Okay.
Ready to vote?
We're ready to vote.
Board member Denton? Yes. Board member Scott?
Oh, me, aye, yes, in favor.
Chairperson Gilbert
Yes.
and Vice Chairperson
Yes.
motion passed.
I never know when people take Scott. We're gonna learn that, so.
I would like to make one announcement. The city is purchasing 40th anniversary T-shirts. And if anybody would like one, we just need to let Suzanne vote and nominate. Is there still time? Or is it?
Not me, it's Miss Parker. If you
Okay.
wanna get sizes from the
Sizes,
members,
and if anybody-
email her.
And I can give that to her tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
I know
Miss Parker is
Happy.
Kathy,
just call her.
I would,
No, look,
I wouldn't, I would let Miss Gilbert
my
coordinate.
board, my class board sizes. Okay. Would anybody like a T-shirt?
Sure.
Okay,
Double XL.
Okay.
Are there gonna be a bunch of these t-shirts? Like, could I get a couple smalls?
I know there'll be extras, I know that, but I don't know what size.
My daughter would like a small if there's any left over.
Are they differentiated men's and women's?
They look like a baseball shirt from the pictures I've seen. You know, it's a white with black lettering, and then the shoulder, the sleeves are, you know, like the baseball.
Okay.
Right, literally cut
Right.
like this,
Yeah.
and these are black. I'm sorry, red.
Okay.
They're red and white, and the writing is white.
I probably want a small if they're not differentiated.
XL.
Awesome. Bob,
2XL.
okay, we need to get one for Jason, and then we should get.
You should.
Monica so Justin's probably leaving.
Ask the city secretary to email, that's what I would do.
Yes, if you email us along.
Yeah, so I was saying, city secretary can email individually.
I see, I don't understand what that means, okay, so we need Justin, Elizabeth, and, Monica, okay. Now, give these. All right. If there's nothing else to discuss, anybody else has any thoughts, the meeting is adjourned.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
You've got, thank you, Suzanne.
Yes, thank you.